Hi there everybody, and welcome to another video. On today's video I have this Mini Cooper. This is a 4-door version 2019, and I'm just fitting some aftermarket rear parking sensors. So the ones I'm using are from this company, Steelmate, and that's the one I'm using, the PTS 400EX. Dual purpose. That means you could use them in the front as well if you had two sets. So you get in the box, obviously I removed everything, I taken out everything already. You get the sensors, you get the little ECU, you get the 4 wires for each sensor, and you get all this wiring here as well, which is just basically you have a positive and earth, and a wire that has to connect to the reverse light as well. And the pink one usually is not used. So here's the instruction book. At the moment I'm in the process of drilling the holes. So obviously it's a good idea to follow the instructions. It shows you here more or less the separation of the sensors at 45 centimeters. It says 0.45 m, so that is really 45 centimeters. And so that's the kind of separation I have here. I've measured, I've just put that tape, the yellow tape, across there, and to try and get it straight, I just put it so the top of this bit just crossing this part here where this circle is, and same on the other side, just to try and get my tape sort of straight. From that point, what I did is I just measured the half of the bumper, which was just here. So I measured from here to there, to that corner. It was about 88 centimeters. So half of 88 centimeters turned out to be about 44 centimeters there. So that's just half of the bumper. From that point, these have to be 45 centimeters separated. So 22.5 to this side and 22.5 to this side. And then from here to there, 45, and from here to there, 45. Having said that, I actually done that at 40, from here to there to 40, and from here to there 40. The reason for that is because at 45 this will be a little bit somewhere here, and I don't want the sensor to be not to be sitting flush, because this is a bit more corner here. So anyway, we'll see how it works. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then you'll know, and then don't make the same mistake. The other important thing is, so once you measure that and you mark your lines, you can see how I marked my line there. What the instructions say is the distance from here to the floor needs to be above 45 but below 65. So I got my tape measure and measured from the floor to here. I actually, so 45 is somewhere here. I actually use 49. So 49 on all of them. So then you mark them where you're going to drill. At least I know, so this hole will be at the same height as this one and the other one. All of them are at the same height, even if the tape looks a little bit different. So so from that point on, what we need to do is just drill the holes. And in the kit you have that, which is the right size for the hole of the sensor that they give you. So then obviously just put it in the center, and drill your hole. from this point, we do have to get all our wires to go through there into the car. So we want to find a hole, because obviously I removed the light here because I need to connect this to the reverse light wire. So if you want to see how I remove that, don't check out my other video. But ideally we want to find a hole where all the cables are going to come through, because we can't just bring them up through here and put them through here. That wouldn't really work out. So I'm gonna find the necessary hole, and then I'll carry on with the video. Okay, looking at the progress here, I've got this metal string just going through this hole to this one, so I can pull this cable through there, and I'm gonna pull all of them. I'm gonna do the same with all of them, one by one. Well, here there will be 2. I will pull here, then there has to be 3 that I pull this way. You may want to take these little covers out, because if there is, I'm not sure there is, you can see there is a tube here that sort of blocks the way between here and here. So the string, this thing, has to go through sort of under that tube in there. I'm not sure if I remove that I can actually see that, but we'll give it a go in a minute, because I don't really need this tape anymore. I'm leaving it for now so I don't want to scratch the bumper, but I'm gonna take this little piece out. I could potentially take it out here, because I just want to see. But and the other thing is, I found a little hole where all those cables are gonna have to go through. I want to take this out without scratching the bumper, so maybe I should use something smaller. Anyway, we'll look at that in a minute. I want to show you the hole I'm going to use. So the hole I'm going to use for that, passing the cables through, is this one here. Now there was a little grommet sitting on there. I pushed it in and it went down somewhere, and it's now gone missing forever. So if I do find it, I'll show you. It's just a little tiny black looking grommet, something like that there. But I pushed it through and it's gone. So I'm hoping that that little hole is gonna be big enough to get all my cables through in there, because obviously I have to get 4 of them through that. So right, I'm gonna give this a go, this idea. So I just attached my cable to that string, and the idea is to pull it that way, and hopefully that will do the job, or not. So see that you have to attach it properly so that it actually comes through here. I think it did go a bit, but anyway, we'll do it again. And so now that happened, let me show you what I mean here. When you push, by the way, this thing that I'm using is from an old wiper blade. Okay, so here's my string, but as you can see, I have to sort of bend it a little bit so it kind of comes up, because it's sort of going down a little bit due to whatever is in there. So in a minute I'm gonna get it with my finger, try the same thing and do that for all 4. Okay, I managed to pull all my cables through this hole. Now the one that belongs here, I pushed in a little bit until I could see it from here, from this hole. It was a little bit difficult, to be fair. So when you push it through here, you'll be able to see it through here. And then what I did is I got my string here, bent it here a little bit, made it like a hook, and then I managed to get this bit of the cable, so I just managed to hook it on there and then pull it through the hole. So all that, in all fairness, was a bit fiddly because I had to see this through there, because it kind of goes at an angle on the side, and then that goes in as well, like that. So you're fiddling with that, moving it until you can actually catch the cable. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the sensor from over there. I'm attaching it to the sensor that is gone through here already, and I'm gonna try to feed it through here that way. So if I can pull that in, which is, it gets a little bit stuck, so you have to push that in like so, and then that way we are going to try and pull it through here, hopefully without major dramas. At least that's the idea. So I'll give that a go. If it works, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm doing here. So if it works, then great. Okay guys, the plan worked perfectly. Here's my cable connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same for the other two. So I can feed these two. I'm just going to attach them to the same cable, the first one here, and then feed all of them through that little hole in here. That little hole should be big enough for all four. So that's what I'm going to do next. Also, the sensors I've got are black, but you can order them color coded to your car, or if you buy the paint, you could potentially paint them. So I've got the paint and I'm just painting them while I wait. While that is drying, I'm doing this. Just one more thing before I carry on here. The sensor, the cable from this sensor here, so by the way, I took the little cover off here just to check the wire going through there, and it's this metal bit here that sort of prevents you from putting your string straight through there. And another thing is, if you remove these, be really careful, because I snapped it. I broke the little clip there, and now I have to glue it or something. But anyway, what I was trying to say is, make sure that this is the box where the sensors connect, and you have A, B, C, and D. So you want them to go in order. So we'll start with A, B, C, and D. So you don't want to mix and match, basically. You don't want to put that on A, that one on C, that one on D. And then the car won't know which one is left, which one is right, basically. So if you put that on A, it will think this is the extreme, the end. So as you feed your cables, so the next cable I'm going to feed is this one here. So I know which one is that. Just pull it through there, and then I'm going to attach it to that, as we already know, the sensor that belongs here, and feed it through, and then I can connect that to B here. Okay, just another update here. I left a little bit of cable here on each one in case we need to one day remove a sensor, then we have a little bit of wire to have access. And another thing is, in this case scenario, I'm connecting this device as well, which is some LEDs. So these LEDs, they come on the closer you get to an object. So it goes from green to yellow to red, as seen on other cars, as well as the little speaker So this speaker actually comes with this device. However, if you want to buy and install that as well, that is a separate item, but you would see it on the website advertised separately, and it basically, that there plugs into here. But if you're going to connect this as well, then you need to connect it into this. So this speaker will come with an extra opening there, so that will connect to this, which this cable is this LED here. And then that bit there will go in there basically. So let me just separate those cables. Okay, so I just unplugged that from there, and also I unplugged it from here. Now you can just dispose of that or whatever. So this cable here, it's the LED, and that will go on this end, which comes from the speaker. So I'm just going to plug that in there. So just making sure I get that in the right way around. So that clicks in there. That's connected to the speaker, and then that, which comes out of the speaker, goes in here. Okay, looking at the instructions here now, I've connected these 4, and I've connected the speaker and the optional LED, and now we have the black cable. So we have the other connection that I just plugged in, this one here. You have 4 wires coming out of there. Now in the wire diagram rear ECU 1, you also have a number 2 here. So I'm using number 1 method. So pink and red go together and they go to the reverse light. White is insulate not used, and black goes to ground, so that makes life easier. If you use method 2, what it says basically is wire the pink to the plus of the AC of the ignition. So basically that will become live only when you have the ignition on. And then the red to the reverse, also insulate the white one, and then ground. So not much different here basically, but it saves. Use method 1, you just connect that to that pink and red together instead of going all the way to the ignition switch. So anyway, white one is insulated, so all I'm gonna do with the white is cut it because we don't need it. So that's my white wire there. Just cut it somewhere there. That gets rid of one problem. And then I am also going to cut. So these 2 are fused already on the other end. So if you look at them here, all of these are fused, including the white one. But the white one we're not using anymore. The pink one is fused, the red one is fused, but we only need 1 fuse if we put the pink and red together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the pink somewhere here, or let's say somewhere here, and also the red. Just gonna cut it somewhere there. And the reason for that is because that red cable is gigantic, and that we only need to go to the reverse light, which is somewhere in this one of these cables will be reverse, and we only need to go from here to there, so we don't need 10 meters of cable. So I'm gonna join these together and then join it to the red, but the red, I will shorten the red a little bit. Just another tip before I continue here, the hole I use for passing all these cables through, the little hole that I showed you earlier, it was a little bit tough to pass all the connections through. So I actually drilled it a little bit, literally a little bit. I just made it a little bit more like an egg shape, and that way all the cables came through. It'd be easier, but it was a tiny bit that I actually drilled. I'm not even sure I can show you, but maybe. So hard to see, but the drilling I did was tiny amount. So just before I carry on, that tip is a necessity. Okay, so what I've done is I joined the red. I've shortened it, of course, as I mentioned. I've joined it here with the pink, and I actually used some soldering iron to get that nicely joined, because I don't want that to be separating by vibration or anything silly, and then the sensor stopped working for some stupid reason, and it turns out that it's becoming apart. So that's why I use the soldering iron, and that sort of eliminates, in future if there's an issue, it eliminates that section there. Although shit can happen still, as it does. But anyway, so now this is a little bit easier to see. All we have is that red wire fused. Gonna go to the reverse cable, and we have the black wire, which is an earth, and that earth I'm gonna connect to that there. So it's getting there, but I may have to wait for those to dry until tomorrow, because also although I painted them white now, they will need a coat of clear coat, which I have here, and it takes a while to dry. So I'm gonna also take them inside so they can dry a bit faster. Anyway, so I'm going to tidy all this up now. I'm gonna connect, and I'm gonna show you where this connects. Okay, I've been tidying everything up. So far from where we left, I've connected the earth, as I said, here. So that's my earth wire connected there, and the red wire, I've already connected it. I established that in this car the reverse is the gray and blue wire here. So how did I do that? Basically, I've got somebody to start the car, put it on reverse while obviously pressing the brakes, and then I measure the voltages on this connection. Now the brown wire here, the brown wire is earth. In this case scenario, by the way, not sure if in your model will be the same if you're gonna go and do a job like this, but the way to measure it, use a multimeter. In this case the brown wire was earth, the one on the left here, black and white, was the indicator, the blue and gray reverse, the purple and gray there that you can see is the side light, and the black and yellow on the right is the brake light. So I've cut the blue and gray wire just up here. I've cut it a little bit and put it all together with the red wire, so that's nicely connected. I also use some soldering iron to make sure that connection is secure, and then insulated that, same as my previous insulation, which I used some insulating tape. You can use some shrink. There's these connections, heat shrink connections that you put it in, and then you use a bit of heat, and that sort of holds everything together. But I haven't got any of those at the moment, so this is how I'm doing it. So my speaker is back here. I stuck that there for the time being. That you will find in your box, there is a bit of tape like this, 3M. You can stick the 3M to the back of this and then stick it somewhere in the car, in the boot here, somewhere accessible. My 3M is not working very well. I've had this for a while, so this is becoming unstuck sometimes. So I may put a bit of cable tie around here to hold it together. Anyway, so that's that. And so all the wiring here is done basically. All I have to do is tidy everything up here a little bit nicely, and then put my light back on. And then this cable here is the one that goes to the LED lights, which I'm going to connect inside at the top there. So once my sensors dry and are ready, I'm gonna fit them so we can see the system, how it works. But basically when you engage reverse, usually you hear a beep from the speaker, and then technically we should see some lights coming on if you install these. This is just an extra, bit more like a gimmick, but some people like it. I mean, I don't mind it, to be fair, but yeah, there we are. Okay, to finalize here, I've got my sensors in. They're nice and dry now, so just had to push them in. I struggle a little bit pushing the connections on these ones here, this one and that one there, because there's a metal bar behind this bumper. So I just had to pull the bumper this way a little bit with a hook. So I just got a hook, pulled it, and got the connection in. No major drama, just what you have to do. So sensors are in. I tidied this up a little bit, even though it still looks a bit messy, but we'll still get some just want to get some cable ties to hold it all together. But my speaker, I got my speaker up there, just a little bit behind that carpet there. Nothing goes there, so it's not an issue. And obviously I've got my LED thing here. So before you close anything, there's two things you need to consider. The cables that you connected, as we said, we had A, B, C and D. When you test your reversing, if you start reversing into a car or something, or into a garage, whatever, if you reverse on one side first, like say this side a little bit closer, if your device does not start beeping, that means that the connection for this sensor belongs on the other end of the box. So the A becomes a D, and the D becomes the A, basically. So all you need to do is, if that happens to you, if you're driving close to something on this end and you don't hear anything, then you need to swap your cables here. That's why you want to put that box somewhere accessible. So you want to change this one with the one at the bottom, and vice versa. And also, if you did install this LED device here, like I did, the same is going to happen. So if you start getting close on the right hand side, say, your LEDs may start coming on the left hand side. So that's why you need to swap the connection so it reads the correct sense. Right, so having said that, the other thing is, once you're in the car and you engage reverse, you're gonna hear a beep from your speaker. So the system is ready, and also that beep has 3 tones. But you need somebody in a car like this, you need someone to put the car in reverse and obviously press the brake while somebody else regulates the volume. So there's a little button on the side of the speaker. If you press it once, it reduces the volume. If you press it again, it reduces the volume a little bit more. If you press it again, it goes back to loud. So let's I've already regulated it to low, and the reason for that is because this car is not that big, and obviously it can be quite loud. Right, okay, so if you look at the mirror here, if you saw those little lights coming on at the back, so, and you may have heard the speaker very faintly, but it is loud enough. So now if we sort of reverse, just want to be careful here. So as you can see, maybe you can hear. So the closer you get, that's basically what happens when you have the LEDs. If you didn't have the LEDs, you will hear that sound anyway, the beeping sound. So obviously if you have a slightly hearing impairment, then you may want to put it a little bit louder. At the moment it is a little bit quiet. I don't really know what the person that's actually buying this car may have to let us know if they require the volume to be a little bit higher or not. But sometimes when it's a bit too high, it can be annoying as well. So just testing there again. As we get away from the, well, if you put it in D, it stops. Go in reverse again. So as you can see, there is 4 lights on the left and there's 3 little lights on the right. So that indicates that I'm closer to the car on the left than the one on the right. So we can just check that. This is what I mean when I say you have to swap the sensors. So if we just have a quick look, in this case scenario, I am closer to the silver car than I am to the black car here, and that's why the left LEDs are coming on a little bit more. So anyway, with that said, I hope the video helps. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. So thank you for watching.